Hey everyone, I thought I'd jump on here just a minute early, kind of give some people a chance to hop on if they would like to. And if you want to watch the video later, that's fine too. We'll be posting it to Facebook and YouTube later. Because today we're going to be doing a behind the scenes of Messages from Christ. So a little bit behind the scenes of our office. Very, very small, one room, little office, and our boxes, and kind of go over how all of this started. So I guess we'll start with how this all got started. Now, Messages from Christ is a subscription box service. You can purchase one-time boxes as well. But how that all began, I didn't just say, you know what, I want to do a subscription box, faith-based subscription box service. There was a lot of build-up to that. I hate when people just say, oh, all of a sudden I had this great idea and that's how it got started. Maybe that's true for some people, but I've been attempting to be an entrepreneur for a very long time. I've been trying a whole lot of different ideas. So I guess to kind of take you through a little bit of my background. Again, my name's Madison Rosaire, and a little bit of my background. When I was in college, I was learning how to do website design, graphic design, things like that. I didn't do a whole lot with the web design, but I loved the graphic design and writing, English, all those things. So that's kind of where I thought I would end up, would be possibly teaching, doing English or social media, graphic design, something along those lines. All right, so that's kind of my background. And I also have some uncles that started businesses of their own, and I always thought that was really cool, and I wanted to be an entrepreneur like them. And so my very first idea, I don't even really remember what the thinking was behind this, but I loved dancing, and I had this idea that it would be really cool to do a website and do some sort of like dancing videos, tutorials, things like that. Again, not sure what the exact thinking was behind that, but I just thought it was a great idea at the time, so I tried out this website. Didn't last long, didn't do a whole lot with it. The next thing I tried was actually not really an entrepreneur thing. It was I'm sorry to say, but it was a pyramid scheme, and I won't mention which one. But I dabbled in that for maybe a month and realized it was definitely not for me. I tried online content creation. One of my first, internships was creating digital content. So basically doing a lot of writing, blog posts, Facebook, social media, content, things like that. And so after that internship, and that turned into a job, and then after I left that, I thought I could do that myself. I could market myself as a content creator. And so that was an idea I had. I started with that, got a little bit of business, but it wasn't something I loved because I was doing it for other people's businesses and making them more money, and I was just getting paid minimally. And, I thought I could start my own business and do this stuff for that business instead of having to do it for all these other people and their companies. So again, that didn't last long. And then I wanted to try to focus on things that I liked doing, which was the content creation and graphic design, and a friend of mine did graphic design as well, so we decided to try to do our own invitation design business. Again, didn't last long. I just had so many different ideas and things that I was either good at or sort of good at, and I thought would be fun. Starting all these different businesses. I tried doing resume design and writing for people. I would help people with their resumes. I was pretty good at it, but again, it wasn't exactly what I loved doing. I tried getting into jewelry. I really enjoyed selling. I did painting and these little cute little bottle things that I would put things inside them, and it was just really cute. I did a couple different craft fair shows and things, and I did okay, but basically, you know, you make enough to support the habit with that. You don't make money, you just make enough to buy more supplies and keep going. So that didn't really pan out. I did look into, I wanted to make my own children's book. I always wanted to be a writer, and that's still a goal of mine, is to write a book. But one I will show you. I did do a children's book, and still working on getting this out into the world just because it's pretty fun. Wrote, designed it. That was pretty fun. But again, this takes a lot of work to just get out into the world, pitching it. And after I made it, and this is another problem of mine, I like to start things. I like to make things, and then I get bored, or I don't want to do the rest of the work to get it out into the world. So this was kind of just on pause because I made it. It's on Amazon. It's called Where Do I Live? And I was done. I didn't want to do much more with it. I tried to do a couple things, but it didn't really go anywhere. So again, kind of dead end with that. But I liked doing things for kids. And so that led to, it was a little bit a part of my next business attempt, which was, and the reason I'm going through all of this history is because, again, I don't like when people just say, oh, I had this idea and I was super successful and got started with it. Usually there's lead up to that. And so I'm kind of giving you the background and the lead up to where we are today and what got all of this started. So the next one was called Centered on Christ, and it was my Etsy shop. And I was creating books, printables, digital downloads, mostly faith-based decor, faith-based booklets, scripture cards, things for kids, things for families. I focused on women for a little while, getting daily motivational quotes. I have a couple different books that I put on Etsy, that I put on Amazon, and I was able to grow that, and I kind of found my, and I never know how to say this word, niche or niche, but I found that area pretty successful. And so that is what kind of, I feel like that was the foundation. So all of these things, you know, led to having this Etsy shop and having that be somewhat successful. And so all these different things led to that. You know, I got practice with writing and graphic design, website building, selling things, all of those things led up to this. And then I homeschool my kids, and we were starting to get into different subscription boxes for school. So we tried the Zoo box, Zoo Education or something like that. You get a new animal each month. It was super cute, and they learned about the animals. We got the KiwiCo science boxes. We got this Atlas Crate adventure book. This one was one of my favorites. It was about different countries. Just really, really cool. They had crafts and recipes, a little bit about all these different places. It was really, really cool. That was one of my favorites. And as we were doing these different subscription boxes for the kids, I kept thinking, you know, these are all really cool. I haven't noticed any faith-based subscription boxes. And I know there are a few, but they weren't exactly what I was looking for. And so I decided to start Messages from Christ and have it be based on teachings from the Bible, and really focus on Jesus. That was my main goal, was to focus on messages from Christ. Because I think Jesus is a wonderful teacher. I think we could all learn so much from him. And so that was the thinking behind that. And I started with the idea of doing a scripture letter and a toy, some sort of stuffed animal or just some sort of toy to go with it, you know, along with bookmarks, stickers, a booklet, a couple different things. And the box was looking really good. I was putting everything together, but it felt like something was missing. And then we tried, shout out to the Young and Wild and Friedman. We tried one of their boxes, and my daughter loves this one. All the kids love it, but this is one of her favorites. It's the little baby kit. But these are sensory kits, and so they come with these awesome little Play-Doh containers, and then tons of things based on whatever theme or subject you get. It was super fun, and I thought that's what's going to complete my Messages from Christ boxes, is some sort of sensory kit to go with each one. That way kids are learning, whether you're a homeschool kid or you're not. I feel like the faith-based learning is really important, and they can learn through play with the different toys. They can learn through reading the scriptures. The older kids will have the scripture memory cards, and then we added the sensory kits, and so they can be using their hands and playing in that way while maybe a parent reads the scripture letter to them for the younger kids. However you guys want to use them, but that was like the finishing touch. So anyway, that was a bit long. I apologize, but that was, I like to kind of go through the step-by-step of how all of this got started. And now we'll just do a quick behind the scenes of our office here. Let's see. And you guys get to kind of see some hints of what we're going to be doing for future boxes. So we've got some craft supplies in here. We've got all the paper. I've got some boxes that are prepped and ready to go here. We've got our drawers with each theme in here. These are some of our past themes. We've got the God created the world, Jesus helps catch fish. We've got the lost sheep box, Jesus walks on water, a couple things in there. And then let's see, we've got our just mismatch of everything shelf here. We've got a lot of different toys, stuffies, different supplies. You can kind of get a little hint of what our next box is gonna be with that. And these are some of our sensory kit supplies. We've got different little mini figurines here. We've got craft supplies, sensory kit things, and then again another little hint as to what our next book club box is going to be over here. And I've got a couple boxes being packed up right now over at this table. And I also share my office with my kids because they are very entrepreneurially minded, however you say that. And so this is their section, which is a bit messy, but they're really into the whole 3D print craze right now. So they are doing that, and they actually do a pretty good job selling at fairs and things like that. This is my little inspirational corner. We've got every journey needs a first step. Find a way, not an excuse. Things take time, which I try to remind myself of those 3 things every day. Then we've got a couple other things for our boxes. These are a couple things for our book club boxes over here. This is my light box. So it's a way to take pictures And then back over here, got a little office area, computer, all those things. So that is our little behind the scenes. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. I guess, again, we were going to do a little what's coming next section. Put in the comments if you can guess what our next boxes will be based on what I showed you back there. We've got a book club box and the next Messages from Christ box coming soon. And our boxes are for Christians and homeschool families. The age range is for kids ages 3 to 12. It can be a little bit younger, a little bit older, but those are the recommended ages. And if you're curious, you can check out our store at messagesfromchrist.shop. And faith at home doesn't have to be complicated. I know a lot of this sounded kind of complicated, my backstory and stuff, but it doesn't have to be complicated for you guys, because I did all of those building up to where we are now so that I can sell these boxes to you guys so that it can be easier for you guys. And that's what I wanted for my kids. And so yeah, if you guys have any comments or questions, you can comment below. I will check them later. It doesn't look like we have any right now, which is fine. But I will post this video so more people can see it later on. And thank you for watching. I will see you guys next Friday. If I can figure out how to finish this live. All right, see you guys.